All right, put your hands together for Pat, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I thought immediately of a story when I understood what today's theme was going to be of journey. Though I wouldn't say mine is as exciting or as interesting as many of yours. It certainly is memorable, though not in a good way. Let me give you some background. I have a cousin named Rita who's dating a man named Steve, and Steve has a friend named Jim, and he was divorced for many years and starting to think about getting out in the market again. And I'm single, and Rita and Steve thought it would be a good idea if they fixed us up on a blind date. I was agreeable, though nervous, as one might be for any of you who are of a certain age, say, or over. You know that it's hard to put yourself out there, but it was something that I was committed to doing. So we made plans to have dinner in Westchester. I thought it was so kind. None of them live in Westchester. But then my cousin and her date and this blind date were all coming to Westchester to enjoy dinner with me. I got there. I was really nervous. I was so nervous. It was in the summertime. I was nervous for a lot of reasons. A, because I hadn't been on a blind date for a long time. B, because when I got out of the car, it was summertime, it was still light out, and I realized that the shirt I was wearing was a lot more sheer than it was in the Macy's dressing room the week before. Anyway, I made my way to the restaurant, and my cousin and her date were standing outside, and we stood there and we waited for Jim to come up. Here comes this very nice looking man carrying a single red rose. I had competing thoughts. A, who does that? And B, how sweet. We had a lovely meal. Lovely. He was nice, he was funny, he was generous. We had a lot of the same interests. He had a cat. For those of you who know me, I have 2 cats, and that's a big deal. Really, again, at that age that we won't mention, these are the things that make a difference in life. Dinner came to a very nice end. My cousin and her boyfriend excused themselves. Jim was going to walk me back to the car. Lovely. He had come from a different direction from where I parked, but he was game. We walked out of the restaurant. I didn't go 3 steps before I decapitated the rose he had given me. And the rose goes flying. I never was in that position before in my life. So I picked up the top of the rose, I put it back on the stem and held it, as if it hadn't happened. Okay. We're going back to the garage. He's going to take me to my car. I decide, let me take him through the shortcut. This looks like a shortcut. We go down this alley to the shortcut. It ends in a patio bar that has no external exits. So we walk back out and backtrack back to where we started from. We walk to the garage. This is the journey. Because then we get to the garage that I had parked in. We get to the elevator, which I seem to feel was right. And as we get into the garage, I realize I don't know where I parked. Well, no, that's not exactly true. I didn't know where I parked, but I didn't know if I had driven to Westchester that evening. My nerves had been such that I had no recollection of where my car was. I don't want to tell him that. I'm going to have the sheer blouse on and everything. So we get onto the elevator, and I say, I'm not sure where I am, but I think I'm on 2. It's a 5-story garage. I picked 2. We get on, we walk around. There's no car. He said, press that clicker. Really, I thought? I've been pressing the clicker the whole damn time. I don't know where my car is. If you've never considered this, I asked you to do this the next time you're at a parking garage on a busy weekend. Watch how many lights are flashing and how many beeps you hear. Focus. You cannot even imagine how much it is when you're focusing on it. My car wasn't there. We get on the elevator, I press 3 thinking, oh, we're getting closer. Nothing. By now I'm walking a little bit ahead of him, and the conversation isn't as easy. And I say, listen, I'm really embarrassed. I was a little nervous coming. Can you just leave me here? And can we just say goodnight right here? I swear I'll find my way home. I can walk, really, it's not that far. Because he was such a decent guy, of course, he said, no, we'll find it. We get back on the elevator. Oh, I say to myself out loud, do Dear diary, I met a really nice guy. I can't believe I'm showing my mental impairment. He turns to me very seriously and said, when you parked, was there sun overhead? Are you on the roof? I said, I don't think so. He said, are you sure you were on the elevator? Because could you have parked on the ground floor? I wasn't sure. I was kind of offended at the way he was questioning me. The answer was no. We ended up at the 4th floor. We walked around and around and around. We finally found the car. He was so gracious. He said, oh my God, it was the 3rd and a half floor of the garage. That's why we couldn't find it. I hopped it. We said goodbye. We said all the things that you say on blind dates. Oh my God, this was great. We'll have to do it again. Got in the car. I saw him in the rearview mirror. I realized, oh my God, I didn't offer him a ride back to his car. I've turned him around Westchester like crazy. He lives in Plymouth Meeting. I hop out of my car. I say, oh my God, Jim, can I give you a ride back to your car? I'll always remember. Turned his back, looked over his shoulder. No thanks. My journey through a parking garage.
Pat,